are you doing? Are you stealing my money?
My grandson stole $200,000 from me for heroin. I didn't sue. I prayed 3 years. God did what I couldn't. You know that moment when everything inside you screams, do something? That night, when I discovered my grandson had stolen $200,000 from me, every single cell in my body wanted to call the police. Right now, to press charges, to make him pay. But I heard another voice, smaller, quieter, almost a whisper, pray. And I didn't understand. God, I didn't understand, but I obeyed. My name is Catherine Williams. I'm 60 years old. And this is about the day I chose prayer over prosecution and watched God do what I could never do alone. Before I go further, if you've ever felt betrayed by someone you raised, someone you loved more than your own life, someone you would have died for, subscribe. Because this story, it's for you. Let me take you back, 25 years back. Lucas was 7 months old when his parents died. Car accident, black ice, gone in an instant. My daughter Sarah, my baby girl, gone. Her husband Mark, gone. And this tiny, helpless baby, Lucas, suddenly had no one except me. I was 35 years old, single. My husband had passed 3 years earlier. And now, I had this baby. This beautiful, innocent baby boy who needed everything. The social worker asked me, Mrs. Williams, are you sure? Raising a child at your age, alone, it's not easy. I looked at Lucas. Those big brown eyes, Sarah's eyes. He's my grandson, I said. He's all I have left of her. So I raised him. Bottles at 2 a.m., diapers, first words, first steps, kindergarten, little league, high school, everything. I owned a jewelry store in Denver. My late husband and I had built it together. After he died, I ran it alone. 45 years I poured into that business. And you know what? Every single dollar I made, I saved for Lucas, college fund, wedding fund, house down payment fund. By the time Lucas turned 21, I had $200,000 saved, every single penny, for him. Grandma, he'd say, hugging me, you didn't have to do all this. I wanted to, I'd whisper. You're my world, Lucas. And I meant it. He was my world, my daughter's son, my second chance at motherhood, my everything. Lucas was perfect, honor roll student, polite, kind, helped at the jewelry store after school. Everyone in Denver knew Lucas Williams. That's Catherine's grandson, they'd say. Good kid, really good kid. Until Vanessa. He met her at 22. I'll never forget the first time he brought her home. Something was wrong. I felt it the second she walked through my door. Call it intuition, call it the Holy Spirit, call it whatever you want. But I knew. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Her laugh was practiced, fake. And the way she looked at my house, at my jewelry, at Lucas, like he was a ticket. Not a person, a ticket. Grandma, this is Vanessa, Lucas said, beaming. Isn't she amazing? I smiled, shook her hand. Nice to meet you, dear. But that night, I prayed hard. God, show me if I'm wrong. Please, please, let me be wrong about her. I wasn't wrong. Within 6 months, Lucas changed. He'd miss family dinners. Oh, Vanessa and I have plans. He'd forget my birthday. First time in 22 years. He looked tired, thin. His eyes were different. Lucas, are you okay? I asked one Sunday. I'm fine, Grandma. Stop worrying. He laughed, but it wasn't his laugh. It was hollow, empty. You look thin, sweetheart. Are you eating enough? Vanessa's a great cook. I'm eating plenty. He kissed my forehead and left. I stood there in my empty kitchen, and I knew. Something was very, very wrong. But when I tried to talk to him, he'd get defensive, angry even. Grandma, you don't trust me. You don't like Vanessa because you want me all to yourself. That hurt. God, that hurt. But I kept praying. Every night, on my knees. Lord, whatever is happening, protect him, cover him, break whatever chains are binding him. Then came that Friday. Lucas called, excited. Grandma, I have this incredible investment opportunity, real estate. Vanessa's cousin is a developer. We could double our money in 6 months. Our money? I asked carefully. The college fund. The $200,000. Grandma, this is it. This is how I build my future. Everything in me said no. Every fiber of my being screamed, don't do it. But he was my grandson, and I wanted him to succeed, to build a life, to be happy. Let me think about it, sweetheart. Grandma, we only have 3 days to get in on this. Please, trust me. I prayed. I prayed so hard that night. God, what do I do? Silence. Just silence. The next day, I went to the bank. I transferred $200,000 to Lucas's account. Every penny I had saved for 22 years. Grandma, you're the best. He hugged me so tight. I promise I'll make you proud. I'm already proud of you, Lucas. I always have been. That was April 15th, 2022. By May 1st, he was gone. No calls, no texts, no visits. I called him. Voicemail, again, voicemail, again, voicemail. I drove to his apartment, empty. Landlord said, he moved out 2 weeks ago. Didn't leave a forwarding address. Panic. Pure panic flooded my body. My hands shook. My heart raced. I logged into the bank account and saw zero. Not 190,000, not 50,000, not even 1,000, zero, $200,000. Gone in 16 days. I couldn't breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. I sat in my car outside that empty apartment and sobbed. God, where is he? Where is my grandson? 3 days later, a friend called. Catherine, I saw Lucas downtown. He looked bayed. Really bayed. I drove downtown. I searched every street, every alley, every corner, and then I found him. He was sitting on the steps of an abandoned building. Thin, so thin. His clothes were dirty. His eyes were hollow, dead. And next to him, Vanessa, smoking, laughing with some man I didn't know. Lucas! I ran to him. He looked up. For a second, just a second, I saw my grandson. The little boy who used to hug me and say, I love you, Grandma. Then his face went cold. What do you want? Lucas, please, come home, we can fix this. Whatever's happening, we can fix it. Vanessa laughed. Fix it? There's nothing to fix, old lady. I'm talking to my grandson, I snapped. Lucas stood up, swayed a little. Grandma, just go. Where's the money, Lucas? The 200,000. He looked away. It's gone. Gone where? Silence. Lucas, where is the money? And then he said it. The 5 words that shattered my heart into pieces I didn't know could break. You're old. You'll die soon anyway. I felt like I'd been punched, like the air had been sucked from my lungs. What? What did you just say? You'll die soon, Grandma. Just forget about the money, forget about me, go home. Vanessa whispered something to him. They both laughed, and I knew. In that moment, I knew. Drugs, it was drugs. Lucas, are you using? Go home, Grandma! He pushed past me, walked away. Vanessa followed, still laughing. I stood there, on that dirty street, watching my grandson disappear into the darkness, and I broke. Right there, I fell to my knees on that filthy sidewalk and sobbed, God, please, please don't let me lose him. I drove home, numb, empty, devastated. The next day, my sister came over, then my brother, then my pastor, then my friends. All of them said the same thing. Call the police! Press charges! He stole from you! He needs to face consequences. Catherine, you're letting him disrespect you. Sue him, take him to court. And part of me, a big part of me, wanted to. God, I wanted to. I wanted him arrested. I wanted him to pay for what he'd done. But then I prayed. I got on my knees in my bedroom and I cried out to God. Lord, I don't know what to do. Everyone says sue him, but he's my grandson. He's all I have left of Sarah. Please, please show me what to do. And I felt it. That still small voice, the one you can only hear when you're really listening. Pray. Don't prosecute. Pray. But God, he stole from me. He hurt me. He said I'm going to die soon. Pray. It's not with your hand. It's with mine. I sat there, tears streaming down my face. And I whispered, okay, God, I'll pray. The next day, my family gathered at my house. So, did you call the police? My sister asked. No. What? Catherine, what are you thinking? I'm going to pray. Silence. Complete shocked silence. You're going to pray? My brother stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Yes, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to watch God work. Catherine, that's insane. He robbed you. I know, but if I prosecute him, he'll go to prison. He'll have a record. He'll have no future, no hope. He doesn't deserve hope. I looked at my family. Neither did I, but God gave it to me anyway. They left, angry, frustrated, thinking I was crazy. Maybe I was, but I prayed anyway. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, on my knees, at my kitchen table, in my car, at the jewelry store. God, I put Lucas in your hands, not my hands, yours. Break whatever is binding him. Save him, please. 1 month passed. No word from Lucas. 2 months. Nothing. 3 months. Silence. I kept praying. People at church would ask, any news about Lucas? No, but I'm still praying. They'd give me that look, that pitying, she's in denial look, but I wasn't in denial. I was in faith, even though I didn't feel faithful, even though I cried myself to sleep most nights, even though every day hurt. I chose to believe God was working, even when I couldn't see it. Month 4, a detective called me. Mrs. Williams, we found your grandson. He's in the hospital. Overdose. My heart stopped. Is he alive? Yes, he's stable. Denver General, room 412. I ran. I literally ran to my car. Drove 90 miles an hour to that hospital. Burst into room 412. And there he was. My Lucas. Tubes in his arms. Monitor beeping. Pale. So pale. And next to his bed, Vanessa. On her phone. Not even looking at him. Get out. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. But my voice was steel. Excuse me? She looked up. I said, get out now. I'm his girlfriend. You can't. I'm his grandmother. And if you don't leave in the next 5 seconds, I will have security remove you. 1. 2. She grabbed her purse and left, muttering something under her breath. I sat next to Lucas, held his hand. It was so thin, so fragile. Lucas, it's Grandma. I'm here, baby. I'm here. His eyes fluttered open. For a second, he looked confused. Then, recognition. Grandma? Yes, sweetheart, I'm here. And then, his face twisted into anger, into rage. I don't want you here. Go away. The nurse came in. So you need to calm down. Get her out. I don't want her here. Security came. They escorted me out. I stood in that hospital hallway, listening to my grandson scream, and I fell apart. I made it to my car, sat in the parking lot, and I prayed with everything in me. God, I've been praying for 4 months, and it's getting worse. He almost died. Where are you? Where? And that still, small voice said, trust me. It's not with your hand, it's with mine. But God, I don't know how much more I can take. Trust me. I drove home, exhausted, broken, empty, but I kept praying. Every single day, even when it felt pointless. Even when it felt like God wasn't listening. I prayed. Month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8, nothing. No word, no calls, no texts. People stopped asking about Lucas. They just pat my hand and say, "I'm sorry, Catherine," like he was dead, like he was already gone. But I refused to believe it. I refused. God, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to pray until you move. I don't care if it's 1 year or 10 years. I won't stop. And then came that night. 3 a.m. I was asleep, exhausted from another day of praying and crying and working and pretending I was okay. Knock, knock, knock. I sat up, heart pounding. Who knocks at 3 in the morning? I grabbed my robe, walked to the door, looked through the peephole, and I saw him, Lucas, soaking wet. It was raining. He was shaking, thin, so thin, but his eyes were clear. I threw the door open. "Grandma!" His voice broke. "Grandma, I... And he collapsed, right into my arms, sobbing like a child. I held him, right there on my porch, in the rain, and I cried with him. "I'm here, baby, I'm here. You're home now, you're home." We went inside. I made him tea, gave him dry clothes, wrapped him in a blanket, and then he told me, "Grandma, I had a dream." I leaned forward. "A dream? 3 nights ago. I was in the trap house, about to use, and I fell asleep, and I dreamed." Tears streamed down his face. "I saw you, on your knees, in your bedroom, praying, and there was this light, this bright white light, covering you, like a shield, and I heard a voice. I don't know whose voice, but it said she never gave up on you. She prayed every day. She chose prayer over prison. She chose love." He was shaking now, sobbing so hard he could barely speak, and when I woke up, I tried to use. I tried. I put the needle to my arm, but I couldn't. Something broke inside me, like chains just snapped, and I knew I had to come home. I pulled him into my arms. That was God, Lucas. That wasn't me. That wasn't you. That was God. "I'm so sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. I stole from you. I said horrible things. Shh, I forgive you. I forgave you the day you took the money." "How? How can you forgive me?" "Because God forgave me. And he told me to pray, not to prosecute, to pray. And I did, for 8 months, every single day. I prayed." He stayed sober that night, and the next, and the next. 1 week clean. I found him a rehab facility. The best in Colorado. It cost $40,000. I sold my car to pay for it. He went in on June 1st. For 6 months, I visited him every Sunday, watched him heal, watched him transform, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, completely. He came out December 1st, a different man, completely different. His eyes were bright, his smile was real, his laugh was genuine. "Grandma, I want to get a job, a real job, and I want to pay you back, every penny." "Lucas, you don't have to." "Yes, I do. Please, let me do this." He got a job at a warehouse, 40 hours a week, minimum wage. He lived in my guest room, paid me $200 a month in rent, and every month he'd hand me $800. "For the debt," he'd say. It took him 2 years, 24 months, but he paid back every single penny, all $200,000. But you know what? That wasn't even the best part. The best part? Lucas started leading a recovery group at our church. Every Wednesday night, he shares his story, his real story, the drugs, the theft, the overdose, the dream, God. And in the last 3 years, he's helped 30 people get clean. 30 people who were exactly where he was. He met a wonderful woman named Grace. She's a social worker. They got married last year. I cried through the whole ceremony. And last month, they had a baby, a little boy. They named him David, because Grandma, Lucas said, holding his son, "You slayed the giant. You defeated addiction with prayer, just like David defeated Goliath." I held my great-grandson, this tiny, perfect miracle, and I thanked God. Because if I had sued Lucas, he'd be in prison right now. Criminal record, no future, no hope, no wife, no baby, no ministry, nothing. But God didn't want to punish him. God wanted to transform him, and he used my prayers, my tears, my broken, weak, trembling faith as the instrument. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Forgiveness doesn't happen in one moment. It happens 100 times a day. Every time I remembered that money, every time I remembered those cruel words, every time I saw that empty bank account, I had to choose to forgive again and again and again. And prayer isn't easy. It's not peaceful. It's not comfortable. Prayer is war. It's spiritual warfare. It's getting on your knees when you want to call the police. It's choosing faith when everything in you screams revenge. But here's what God taught me. Vengeance closes doors. Prayer opens heavens. That money, it came back. Every single penny. But my grandson, he came back transformed. And that is priceless. If you're going through a betrayal right now, if someone you love has hurt you, stolen from you, broken your heart, I know how it feels. I know. But before you call a lawyer, before you press charges, before you seek human justice, seek divine justice. Because God doesn't just restore, He transforms. And that is the true victory. If this story touched your heart in any way, subscribe for more real stories of faith, forgiveness, and divine justice. Your support helps me continue sharing these stories of spiritual transformation. And if you're praying for someone who seems lost right now, don't give up. God heard my prayers for Lucas, and He hears yours. And remember this, prayer is more powerful than any lawsuit, because God doesn't just judge, He transforms hearts. My name is Catherine Williams, and this is the story of how I chose prayer over prosecution and watched God do the impossible.